Caregiving can sometimes feel like an impossible struggle. Caregivers may be torn between taking care of loved ones and trying to maintain balance in life. The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. The Caring Generation with host Pamela D Wilson is here to focus on the conversation of caring. You're not alone. In fact, you're in exactly the right place to share stories and learn tips and resources to help you and your loved ones. So now, please welcome the host of The Caring Generation, Pamela D Wilson.
This is Pamela D. Wilson, caregiving expert, speaker, consultant, and guardian of the Caring Generation. Thank you for joining me for this week's show. It's episode 209. Before we jump into this week's topic, which is discharge from facility, can your elderly parents be kicked out of a nursing home, assisted living community, or memory care? If you find this podcast helpful, please like it and follow it on your favorite podcast app. Your participation through likes and follows helps the show reach more people worldwide looking for hope, help, and support for their health or when caring for aging or elderly parents, spouses, and other family members. During this program, I'll share situations where the elderly are kicked out or discharged from nursing homes and care communities. Once an adult enters the healthcare system, they give up a degree of control over their life. For the purpose of this discussion, the healthcare system includes hospitals, acute care hospitals, skilled nursing facilities or rehabilitation centers, assisted living, and memory care communities. So how do adults give up a degree of control? Specific to hospitals, being admitted happens for acute care needs, which is a healthcare problem that is urgent or time-sensitive. Hospital stays are short stays, and they are approved by Medicare or Medicare Advantage for a specific number of days. While one can appeal a hospital discharge, there has to be a very specific reason to remain in the hospital and not be transferred to a skilled nursing facility, often abbreviated as SNF. Let's first talk about hospital discharges and readmissions. Hospital readmissions mean you leave a hospital and you come back within 30 days of the original stay, are a major financial concern for the healthcare system. The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act of 2010, Section 3025, is called the Hospital Readmissions Reduction Program. It established financial penalties for hospitals when patients are readmitted within 30 days for various healthcare conditions. These conditions include COPD, a breathing problem, hip and knee replacement surgeries, heart failure, pneumonia, and heart bypass surgery. The goal of the government program is to encourage hospitals to improve care coordination efforts, specific to sending people home from the hospital, by encouraging them to improve communication with patients and caregivers. Now, part of the challenge with this for hospitals is they lack staff to work with patients and caregivers so that they have a full understanding of being discharged from the hospital and care after a hospitalization. So if you're an older adult admitted to the hospital or you are a caregiver, get involved when your loved one is admitted, begin asking about timing of hospital discharge and steps to manage health concerns after being discharged to home or to a nursing home or to an assisted living community or to memory care. If you don't ask, you might be surprised by your parent feeling like they are being kicked out of the hospital. If you or a parent is currently in a hospital or a nursing home and you're trying to figure out next steps, you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with me by visiting my website, PamelaDWilson.com. Click on the Services tab and then Elder Care Consultant. Fill out the form on that page. Let me know how I can help. Now let's talk about discharge from facilities specific to nursing homes. Older adults are usually admitted to nursing homes after a hospital stay, where, while in the hospital, they're confirmed to be too physically weak to return home and live independently. Now, some older adults may go to the hospital and a skilled nursing facility not from a private house, right, but from an assisted living or a memory care community, which is where they live. If you are an elderly person living in assisted living or memory care, know that these communities can decide, they can make a decision about whether you can return if you leave and go to the hospital. The communities must confirm that you can take care of yourself, similar to the level of care you received before you left. If you can't, two things can happen. They can raise your rate and let you return, or they can refuse to allow you to return and tell the hospital that you have to go to a nursing home for physical rehabilitation. So, as you can see, any admission to the hospital, if you're older, can be a little risky if you have a lot of health problems and you can't return home to live independently. This is where and how older adults and their caregivers start losing control over care situations. The control that older adults have is over their physical health. But many older adults don't realize the impact of this until it's too late and they're in a hospital or in a nursing home. If you weren't in good health before the hospital stay, it's unlikely that you're going to be discharged in better health. The hospital will certainly treat the condition that you were admitted for. But after that, it's all up to you to work on your health and your physical abilities. It's up to you as the older adult to be able to perform all of your daily activities if you want to go home. Becoming physically weak or physically disabled is the primary reason that older adults need more care, whether it's from family caregivers, paid caregivers coming into the home, or having to move to an assisted living or a memory care community. So if you're listening to this and you haven't been in the hospital or a nursing home, consider yourself lucky. Now is the time to get motivated to make sure that you won't or you don't have to go to the hospital for treatment of a routine health condition that you can manage with your primary care physician. Take your health, physical and emotional health, very seriously. Start exercising, strengthen weak muscles, build physical endurance, start walking a block, 5 blocks, a mile. This commitment to physically improve your health will help you avoid being swept into the healthcare system, which can certainly have a degree of control over your life and even where you live. So let's say that you're in the hospital and you learn you can't go home. You have to go to a nursing home. The list of nursing homes you can go to depends on your insurance, whether it's Medicare Original or Medicare Advantage. Most nursing homes accept Original Medicare. Medicare Advantage plans, however, have a list of nursing homes associated with their plan. So if you want to choose the nursing home you go to, ask the hospital discharge planner for the list and start making phone calls. Otherwise, you'll most likely be sent to the first nursing home on the list with an available bed. You will transfer from the hospital to a skilled nursing facility. And the next step for you and your caregiver is to do the same thing when you went into the hospital. Start planning for a nursing home discharge date for you to go home or to your care community. If you live in a care community, it's important to understand what that community requires of you physically so that you can return, so they'll accept you back. Otherwise, you might be moving out of your care community to find another community that will accept you based on your new needs. I'll say that hospitalizations are the perfect time for assisted living and memory care communities to decide whether they will allow a resident to return. Think of it this way. If your parents are a problem for you, are they causing problems at the care community where they live? Does mom or dad have a difficult personality? Do they complain all the time? Are they rude to staff or other residents? If mom or dad lives in memory care, do they have difficult behaviors like refusing to bathe, yelling, screaming, threatening, harming other residents or staff? Difficult parents can become difficult residents that communities don't want because they're disruptive to other residents and staff. The same applies to nursing homes. I have caregivers tell me all the time that nursing homes discharge their parents, even when the caregivers express concerns about not being able to deal with a parent's dementia behaviors. These discharges, sometimes called unsafe discharges from skilled nursing facilities, are called dumping. Hospitals, skilled nursing communities, assisted living communities, and memory care communities all dump residents. What does this mean? It means they dump them from one care setting to another. They refuse to accept them back. Dumping happens most often when the patient or the resident's family members are unwilling to work with community staff to identify solutions for the behaviors that are causing problems. Sometimes families are unaware that medications can address some of these behaviors. In some cases, the only solution, if a resident has extreme behaviors and is a threat to others, is to look at medications to treat the behaviors. Some family members refuse this option, or they don't know to ask about it. Then, all of a sudden, the family members or the caregivers are surprised when a community says, you know what, your parent has to leave. They can't stay here, or we're not taking them back. I will say that dumping goes in all directions. Adult children fail to share information about their parents' behaviors so they can get them admitted into a nursing home, assisted living, or memory care community. Then when the staff expresses concerns about a parent's behavior, the children act shocked. If you're a caregiver and your loved one has difficult behavior, it's up to you to figure out how to manage the behavior before trying to dump your parent into a care community and make them someone else's problem. I know that sounds like a really strong statement, but I have helped families manage these situations for many, many years. If you need help, go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, click on Services, Elder Care Consultant, and schedule time to meet with me, virtually or by phone. If you try to get your parents with behaviors admitted to communities, these communities are going to come and have to meet with your parent. If they decline you, that decline goes on the record, and it's going to be seen for months, if not years. Anybody looking to accept your parent is going to say, oh, 5 communities came out. They didn't want to take them. We don't want to take them either. When I was a care manager, a medical power of attorney, and a guardian, I had clients with extremely difficult behaviors. Me and my staff worked very hard to work with their primary care doctors, with hospitals, with nursing homes, with the care communities to manage the behaviors so that they were not a problem, so that my clients wouldn't be asked to leave. Separate from behavior issues, let's say that it's time to leave a nursing home. Being discharged can mean that you or your elderly parent made it to the 20 days that Medicare pays for, or not. Failing to participate in therapy or skilled services ends payment by the insurance company. This is often shocking to patients and their caregivers. Patients and their family caregivers rarely understand that insurance has qualifications to receive medical treatment in a nursing home. A nursing home isn't a place for your parents to hang out so that you as the caregiver can have a break for caregiving. A nursing home is a place for your parents to work hard to get physically better. Otherwise, they will be kicked out. They will be discharged. So, discharge time typically happens after the initial 20 days of Medicare or Medicare Advantage coverage is up. But if you're not sure if you or your parents are ready to go home, Medicare does offer another 100 days of care, but it comes with the same qualifications: physical participation and improved results from the therapy and the skilled medical services. So yes, nursing homes, or rather the insurance companies that pay for you or a loved one to stay in a nursing home, can kick you out. They can discharge you. You might be surprised to know that assisted living and memory care communities can do the same under certain circumstances. Think about this. What do you do with that paperwork that you or an elderly parent receives and signs when you are admitted? Don't just sign it, read it. Older adults and caregivers are shocked when they learn information about being discharged from facilities. It's usually all there in the fine print that nobody reads. Nursing homes give a 3-day notice. Your parent might sign the form, but maybe forget to tell you. You should receive the form to sign if you're the medical power of attorney. Assisted living and memory care communities also have admission packets with 40 or more pages. Read the fine print. Don't sign things you don't understand. Learn about the discharge policies of all healthcare organizations, hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, and memory care communities so that you or an elderly parent aren't shocked by being kicked out or discharged. Individuals and family caregivers have the responsibility to work out the details of managing daily requirements and health concerns. This includes behaviors. If your parents' problems are a behavior for you, they'll be a problem for other people. Don't ignore this. If you're a burned out caregiver, what is exhausting you? How would another person deal with this? How would staff in a care community deal with your parent if you can't? Don't ignore problems or issues just because they become routine. The issues you face as a caregiver may not be routine for others. I will say caregivers are often more willing to accept impossible circumstances from which anybody else would run away from. It's important to be realistic and plan for future healthcare needs. A large percentage of people over age 65 are hospitalized every year. Even more in this population, persons with dementia are hospitalized at higher rates. How will you deal with a hospital stay or a nursing home stay? What's your plan? If you don't have a plan, think about making one. Again, if you need help, care planning, working through all of these issues, go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, hit the Services tab, then click on Elder Care Consultant, fill out the form, and let me know how I can help. I thank you all so much for being here to talk about being discharged from care facilities. Please do like and follow this podcast on your favorite app and share it with others you know who are seeking hope, help, and support. I'm Pamela D Wilson, a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. You're with me on The Caring Generation. I look forward to being with you again soon. God bless you all. Sleep well tonight. Have a fabulous day tomorrow, and enjoy each day until we are here together again.
Tune in each week for The Caring Generation with host Pamela D. Wilson. Come join the conversation and see how Pamela can provide solutions and peace of mind for everyone. Here on Pamela D. Wilson's The Caring Generation.